All right, so we're diving into a career path today that seems like it's really blowing up right now.
Yeah,
Director of Compliance and Information Security in Gambling.
it's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
It is.
But trust us, this is way more interesting than it sounds.
Oh, yeah, for sure. With online casinos just becoming huge, like
Okay.
exploding in popularity and, digital currency changing how we're actually like playing,
Yeah.
his role is going to be everywhere. Like you're going to need somebody to keep an eye on all this stuff.
And lucky for us, we have this this awesome guide
Yeah.
from RoleCatcher to break it all down.
The great.
So think of it as our like insider's guide to, navigating this whole world.
I was really interested when I was reading through this, just how much they emphasize kind of both sides of this.
Okay.
It's compliance and the information security. It's not just about like, playing by the rules.
Right.
It's about protecting the entire game, the entire system.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, okay, paint me a picture here. What does a director of compliance and InfoSec, what do they actually DO all day?
Okay. Imagine this. You are like you're like a digital detective, right?
Right.
Making sure that there's fair play happening in all these online casinos with all this cryptocurrency flying around. You are watching algorithms.
Mm.
You're making sure there's no like bias in the algorithms. You're making sure that that financial transactions are secure,
Oh, wow.
and you have to stay 2 steps ahead of anybody who is trying to like game the system.
Okay. So you're saying that this is actually a very intense job.
Oh yeah. And you know what? RoleCatcher actually says that these people can like command salaries well into 6 figures. Like we're talking even starting close to $200,000 a year,
Whoa.
which is a lot of money.
Okay, so high paying, high stakes.
But that's because of the immense responsibility.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're dealing with a lot of like really high stakes.
Okay. But I have to ask, what about the downsides? Because like high pay usually comes with some like downsides.
Well, no free lunch.
Well, yeah, exactly.
The guide really emphasizes this constant pressure to like stay ahead of the curve, right? Think about it. Technology is constantly evolving. New regulations pop up all the time. New ways to cheat emerge, like constantly changing.
So you're saying that not only do you have to be like a tech whiz,
Yeah.
but you also have to be incredibly strategic.
Yes.
Almost like a futurist. Like you have to be able to anticipate what's coming next.
100%. And let's not forget, like the potential for like ethical dilemmas here.
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Imagine you've got this high-profile player who you suspect of cheating, or you have to navigate all these regulations, these complex regulations around like international gambling.
Yeah, because it's not the same everywhere, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're walking this tightrope, right?
Totally.
Between innovation and integrity.
Wow.
You're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, but you still got to make sure that everything's above board.
It's like walking that line, right?
Yes.
Like how do you, yeah, that's a great, I like that. It's like walking a tightrope.
And that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about AI and blockchain and how those are used in this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, now you're speaking my language.
Okay.
Let's get into it. So how do those technologies actually play into the day-to-day?
Okay. So let's talk about AI first.
Okay.
So picture this. You could have these AI-powered systems analyzing millions and millions of data points, right?
Okay.
Just looking for any little blip that might indicate some fraudulent activity in real time.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about algorithms that can spot a cheater before you can even say blackjack.
That's incredible. So it's almost like having a, like, like you said, you're like a digital detective. It's like you have a partner
Yes.
that's just like scanning for any sign of trouble. What about blockchain? How does that work into this?
Okay. Blockchain is huge for this
Okay.
because it ensures that, all those in financial transactions, they happen securely and transparently.
Okay. Yeah, that's important.
Especially with like digital currencies becoming more popular like Bitcoin.
Yeah, because that's like the currency of the internet these days. Right?
Exactly. And so blockchain is like the ultimate digital vault.
It's like that extra layer of protection.
Yeah,
Right?
like an extra lock on the safe.
Yeah.
Because it's virtually tamper-proof.
Right.
Yeah, you can't really go back and change the records. It's all there on the blockchain.
So it's like, what you're saying is it's really about security.
Yeah.
And transparency.
Yeah, transparency, exactly.
So that everybody knows that the games are fair, that the money's going where it's supposed to go, all that stuff.
Exactly. And we haven't even touched on cybersecurity and how these professionals need to be experts in that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, think about it. They're protecting sensitive player data.
Oh, right.
They're preventing these DDoS attacks,
Yeah.
making sure that the whole platform is safe and secure.
This is already way more than I thought it was going to be.
Right?
Like, it's really interesting, but it also sounds like a really, really tough job that requires a
Good.
very specific type of person.
You said it. It's not for everyone.
So what you're saying is you need to be a tech expert, you need to be analytical, you need to understand this world, you need to understand cybersecurity. I mean, the list goes on.
It does. It does. And you know what else RoleCatcher says? You need people skills.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that I wouldn't have thought about, because to me, this sounds like you're in front of a computer all day.
Right.
You're looking at regulations. I mean, where do the people skills come in?
Well, think about it this way. You're not just dealing with, lines of code and data.
Right.
You're dealing with people. You have
Yeah.
to be able to explain all this really complex stuff to executives who might not be technical at all, right? You have to work with the legal team to navigate these regulations.
Oh, yeah.
And then you might actually have to, interact with players
Oh, that's a good...
who have a concern about, hey, this game isn't fair.
Right. Interesting.
So you have to be able to talk to people too.
So you can't just be like a tech genius.
No.
You have to also be a people person.
That's right. This role, you got to have both. You got to have the technical side and the finesse to deal with people.
It's about building trust too, right?
Yes. Building trust, building understanding.
Yeah.
Even in this very digital world.
Okay, so we've established this is not for the faint of heart.
No.
But for those who are up for a challenge,
Yes.
what does this path actually look like? Like, how do you become this? Is there like a secret handshake?
Well, I don't know about a secret handshake, but RoleCatcher gives a pretty clear roadmap of how you climb the ladder in this industry.
Okay.
And it all starts with a solid foundation, so to speak.
All right, so tell me more about that. Like, where do you even begin in this kind of career?
Well, it usually starts with an entry-level position.
Okay.
Something like a compliance analyst.
Okay.
Maybe you're fresh out of college, eager to learn the ropes, and you dive headfirst into all those ever-changing regulations.
Okay.
You're conducting audits. You become the go-to person for anything related to compliance.
You're like the rookie detective, right?
Exactly.
You're learning, paying your dues, you're figuring it all out.
Exactly. You're building that foundation. And then as you start to gain experience and you prove your skills, you might get promoted to a compliance officer.
Okay, so that's like the next step up.
Exactly.
So more responsibility, I'm guessing.
More responsibility, definitely more pressure,
Yeah.
but also way more satisfying.
Right. So you're not just assisting, like you're actually doing the work now.
You're developing and implementing compliance programs. You're conducting these in-depth risk assessments. You're staying up to date on all the new regulations. You might even be training other employees.
So you're shaping how things are done.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not just playing the game. You're shaping the rules of the game.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
And the guide really emphasizes that at this stage, you start to really develop that ownership, that leadership.
Okay.
And then as you progress, as you really become an expert, you might move into a compliance manager role.
Okay, so now we're talking like the big leagues, right?
The big leagues, exactly.
Yeah.
This is where you're using your strategic thinking.
So this is a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. You're overseeing entire compliance programs across different departments. You're putting out fires left and right.
So not only do you have to know all the regulations, you have to be able to manage a team, be a good communicator.
100%.
I mean, that's a lot. And you have to make sure that everyone's on the same page, that everyone understands the rules, everyone's playing by the rules.
It's a high-pressure balancing act.
It is, but it's also incredibly rewarding,
Yeah.
right? Because it takes a certain kind of person to thrive in that kind of environment.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who enjoys leading a team, someone who anticipates challenges, someone who just makes sure everything runs smoothly.
It's like you're conducting an orchestra, right?
Yes, exactly.
You've got to make sure that all these different instruments are playing in harmony.
That's a great way to put it. And then, if you keep going, if you keep honing your skills,
Yeah.
climbing that ladder, you might just find yourself at the very top.
Which is?
Director of Compliance and Information Security.
Okay. So that's like the top, the peak,
That's it.
the top of the mountain. What does RoleCatcher say about the skills you need to be at that level?
They say that the director, not only do they understand everything about compliance, everything about cybersecurity, but they're also really good at developing and implementing big picture strategies across the entire organization.
Okay. So you're not just keeping the ship afloat.
Not-
You are, like, charting the course.
Yes. You're adjusting for rough seas.
Wow.
You might even find a new island.
Discovering new islands.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. But also, like, intimidating, I feel like.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You need to be a strategic thinker, a leader, and really have a vision for the future, right?
Yes.
You need to be able to see the challenges that are coming and figure out how the organization is going to deal with those when it comes to compliance and security.
So it sounds like it really is a test of your skills and your ability to adapt.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing not everyone wants to be a director, right? Like some people, they find their little niche and they're happy.
Right. Not everyone wants to be the CEO, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this field, is that it has all these different paths for you to grow.
Okay.
You could become a specialist in one particular area of gambling compliance, right?
Yeah.
Like you could be the fraud detection guru or the anti-money laundering expert, or you could even go into consulting, right? Help different companies with their compliance needs.
So it sounds like there's like a lot of options, a lot of different things you can do.
There are. And the key is, as RoleCatcher says again and again, continuous learning.
Right. Because things are always changing, right?
Always.
So you can't just like learn it once and then you're good.
No.
You have to be constantly learning and growing.
And that's why RoleCatcher offers such cool tools
Oh.
like AI-powered resume analysis
Oh.
and interview prep.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So hold on. Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
This platform can like analyze your resume
Yes.
and like help you prep for an interview
Yes, with AI.
with AI. Okay. That is a really interesting question. Like, can technology really help you land your dream job in this field?
Right. I mean, is it that easy?
I don't know. We're going to find out because we're going to dissect that. We'll be right back.
All right. So we're back.
Yeah.
I definitely want to unpack this whole AI thing.
Yeah.
Because you're telling me that this RoleCatcher platform
Yeah.
can, like, analyze resumes and help prep for interviews
It's pretty wild.
with AI.
It is cutting edge.
Like, we're living in the future.
It feels very futuristic.
It does.
But I guess my question is it like,
Yeah.
is it really that good? Can it really help?
So I can definitely see how AI could be, like, a total game changer in this field.
Okay.
Imagine being able to, like, really dissect a job description
Yeah.
with laser focus and figure out exactly what those employers are looking for.
Oh, interesting.
So you know exactly what skills to highlight, what keywords to use.
It's like having a cheat sheet
Yes, exactly.
for your resume.
A secret code book for job hunting.
Okay, I like that a lot.
And that's what RoleCatcher's trying to do.
Okay.
Their AI can scan your resume,
Wow.
compare it to what the job needs, and then suggest ways to make it better.
So you're saying it's like having like a personal resume writer,
Yes,
but it's a robot.
exactly. A robot resume writer who's also like a career coach.
Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's a lot.
It's a lot, but it can be incredibly useful, especially in this field, right?
Yeah, where it's so competitive.
Exactly. So you want every advantage you can get.
Okay, so it sounds like you're like pro AI resume help.
I am, but
There's a but.
there's always a but.
Okay, what's the but?
It's important to remember that AI is just a tool.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to replace humans altogether.
Okay.
You still have to be able to, talk to people,
Right.
show them who you are, what you know.
Because you can't automate charisma, right?
Exactly. AI can't, like, replicate that genuine human connection that
Yeah.
spark.
That's what makes people want to work with you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the real value of these AI tools comes in.
Okay.
They're not here to replace us. They're here to make us better,
Interesting.
to help us understand what we need to do to succeed.
So instead of letting the AI write your resume for you,
Right.
you use it to like learn,
Exactly.
improve your own approach.
It's all about using technology to make yourself better, not to do the work for you.
It's like having like a co-pilot
Yes.
on your career journey.
A co-pilot with, like, all the best maps and traffic updates.
Okay. But ultimately, you're the one driving.
Always.
You're making the decisions.
You're in control.
So we talked about AI,
Yes.
but RoleCatcher also talks about this idea of like staying ahead of the curve,
Yes, absolutely.
which seems really important in a field like this.
Oh, it's essential.
Because it's constantly changing.
Constantly. Technology's changing. Regulations are changing. The ways people cheat are changing.
It's like you're trying to hit a moving target.
All the time.
So how do you even do that?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
And that's what makes this conversation so important.
Okay.
It's not just about landing the job, it's about building a career.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
A career that can adapt and thrive in this constantly changing landscape.
So what you're saying is
Yeah.
learning never stops.
And never. The learning never stops.
You have to be curious. You have to want to grow.
Always be learning. Always be adapting.
Otherwise, you get left behind.
That's the reality of this field, and really any field these days, right?
Right, yeah.
You have to keep moving forward.
So as you're considering this career path, or any career path, really,
Yeah.
it's important to ask yourself,
What's that?
what skills are going to matter 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
That's such a good question to ask yourself.
Because what you know today
Right.
might not be enough.
Exactly. What got you here won't necessarily get you there.
So be adaptable.
Be adaptable.
Be curious.
Stay hungry.
And never stop learning.
That's the key.
Okay, so we're back. And you know what's on my mind.
AI and those job hunting tools.
Exactly. Like, is it really all it's cracked up to be?
Right. That's the million-dollar question.
Because on the one hand, it sounds amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Like, who wouldn't want a robot to write their resume for them?
Right. Like, sign me up. But I'm also a little, like, skeptical.
Yeah, I get it. It's easy to get swept up in the hype, but I think it's healthy to be a little skeptical.
Okay, so talk to me about this. Like, what's the real deal with these AI job hunting tools?
So when you strip away all the buzzwords, these tools are really all about giving you an edge in a competitive job market.
Okay,
They can help you understand exactly what employers are looking for,
right?
and then tailor your application so it stands out from the crowd.
So it's like, instead of sending out 100 generic resumes,
Right.
you're sending out, like, 10 really targeted ones.
Exactly. It's about quality over quantity.
Okay, that makes sense. And I guess AI is pretty good at that whole, like, analyzing data and finding patterns thing.
Exactly. That's where it really shines. It can sift through mountains of data.
Way faster than a human could.
Oh yeah, way faster. And it can spot those subtle things,
Like what?
like the specific keywords that make a difference or the skills that are most in demand.
Okay, so it's like having, like, a super-powered research assistant.
Yes,
Yeesh.
one that never gets tired and never misses a detail.
That's actually pretty amazing, but I'm still stuck on this whole, like, human connection thing.
Right, because at the end of the day, people hire people.
Exactly, and no algorithm can replicate that.
And that's why it's so important to use these tools wisely.
What do you mean?
Don't just rely on them blindly.
Okay,
Use them to understand what employers are looking for.
right.
And then bring your own unique skills and experiences to the table.
So it's about using AI to enhance your own abilities.
Exactly. Not to replace them.
It's like you're still the artist,
Yes,
but AI is giving you the best brushes and paints
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
It's about using all the tools at your disposal
to create your masterpiece.
to create your dream career. And speaking of which, we talked about the importance of continuous learning.
Right, like never stop learning.
Never stop, because this field is constantly evolving.
New technologies, new regulations, new challenges.
Exactly. So you have to be ready to adapt and grow.
It's almost like the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know.
100%. And that's okay. That's what makes it exciting.
Like you're on this never-ending quest for knowledge,
And the more you know,
the better equipped you are.
to make a real impact in this field.
So as we wrap things up here, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice you would give to someone considering this career path?
I would say be bold, be curious, and never be afraid to embrace the unknown.
I love that because this is a field that rewards those who are willing to push the boundaries.
Absolutely. So if you're looking for a challenge, if you're passionate about technology,
And you're not afraid of a little hard work.
then this might just be the perfect career for you.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today.
Already. Time flies when you're having fun.
It really does. But before we go, I just want to say thank you.
To you as well. It's been a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of compliance and information security in gambling. Until next time,